Today, I would like to continue our discussion on marketing analytics and artificial intelligence. We stopped our discussion at customer lifecycle, and the first step of customer lifecycle is awareness. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about awareness and what are the two phases of awareness. One phase is business being aware of the market so that it can effectively run its marketing campaigns. The second bit is making customers aware of the business using advertisements and whatnot. Right? So let me start with a small story. There was this marketing vice president who used to work in a real estate company, and he did a great job in New York County. He sold many homes, and whichever customer he spoke to or he proposed, the customer bought a home. So he had a Midas touch. So no one could touch him from the intuition and marketing business perspective. Now, coming it, given his performance, he was asked to go to Dubai and ensure that the struggling business in Dubai became successful. Now, he started speaking about how he did that and how he was, targeting specific set of people who had done great and who had sort of, made a chunk of his customers and his tactics, his business intuition. And he said that let's go that way. So I know that there is this segment which worked pretty well in New York, that would also work in Dubai. And he had his reasons because he is, business guy. So in that meeting, there was this small data analyst who stood up and said that may not work here. And that was a direct challenge to the marketing vice president. Now, marketing vice president is having great business intuition, but he had his confirmation bias as well as some blind spots. So that is something which data analyst was challenging. He was saying that we need to make informed decisions instead of just working on intuitions. So we need to test your hypothesis. Now, what was the hypothesis? So the key takeaway from the meeting was, the business question was that the segment which you are asking us to go ahead and target in Dubai, that segment worked in New York, but would it again work in Dubai? I don't know. So first of all, let me identify which was the winning segment in NYC and test your hypothesis. So what he has effectively done, the data analyst has effectively done, is understood the business question, converted that into a data analysis problem. And what was the data analysis problem? Compare the behavior to act in a certain way, that is called propensity, to purchase and preference priority of NYC winning segment with Dubai segments and see what is happening. So he has basically converted that business problem into data analysis problem, and that's exactly what is expected out of, you call whatever name you want to call, BI engineer, data analyst, data scientist, whatever, but he has to understand what exactly is the business problem and how you can actually think of breaking it down and convert that into data analysis problem. Along with that, understand how your data should be, what should be your features. When I say features, there might be demographic features, there might be preferential features, and you need to understand the features of the product as well. So you need to understand the property data as well, right? So you need to ensure that is there. Now, when it comes to demographics, yes, I understand that there is GDPR, basically some regulations which prevent us from using certain data, but for the demonstration purposes, we will use them and see how things are happening. And anyway, we are not going to use the right, the data which is true data. It is something like a synthetic data which we are going to use. I'm going to generate it, but for the demonstration purposes, we will use everything and see what is happening. Now, what he needs to target is purchase propensity. How can we ensure that a certain segment probably is purchasing? How can we find out that specific segment? So yes, so now our data analyst is at work. Now, from here, I want to take a path and I want to show you that path on what I'm going to do in my future videos. One. So in the future videos, I am going to walk you through the data transformation using Python. So we will have a synthetic data generated, and we will ensure that we are exploring the data, doing an exploratory data analysis, and get working knowledge of Python. So whoever knows Python, they are fine. Like I am good with them. They may skip this, but whoever don't know Python and they want to learn it, I am going to walk you through whatever is needed for this specific problem. And this is exactly what learning on job does. You take a business problem, understand the data, take a tool, understand that tool, and get the nuances of the tool. So for this specific case study, let's just understand whatever Python is required. And I am sure that once we have covered more and more industries, we will get to know a great understanding of Python. But in each case, I will try to walk you through the code, why something is happening, or what are the different keywords in Python, how you can do certain things in Python, what packages to install, and all that we will go through. Now, so basically it's more like a feature engineer or data engineer job. I mean, data engineer's job is even more broader, which we will discuss, but in this case we will do that, right? Now, second thing is more about generation of crude insights. Once you have explored the data, you will have some insights, some information out there. Now, our key question here would be how to convert that information into a story so that it can answer the right question which we have framed in the beginning of the data analysis. So that is something which we are going to do. And because you have challenged the marketing vice president, someone who is like at the top of its hierarchy, he is not going to believe you because if you say that okay, your hypothesis is right or wrong. In both cases, he will need some explanation, and he will not like an explanation which is written in some sort of an Excel or a code or something. He will not like that. So in order to ensure that he's understanding things just through powerful and stunning visualizations, we will again understand how to use Power BI and create some stunning visualizations. And at the end of it, because at the end we need to go with actionable insights, so we will get some flavor of a propensity model, right? So who are those people who might actually buy the home? So which segment target, which customers to target? So I'll give you the flavor of that propensity model, and as part of that we will understand a little bit about some of the statistical tools and techniques, right? I mean, if needed, we will talk about linear regression and logistic regression, and whatever tool we are talking about, I'll create separate videos for them so that in future, if it is required for another case study, you will get to understand, and I'll put the link there. Okay, so that is how we would proceed. And at the end, so we had seen how the feature engineer works, how the BI engineer works. A propensity model is going to be built by a data scientist. In my view, anyone can do all three jobs. Now we will understand how an agent can do, an AI agent can do the same job, right? So let us just delve deeper into this one, and you will then understand that how we used to do things before generative AI, and probably how would landscape change. So I'm not going to fearmonger here by saying that jobs are going to get lost and all that. No, they are not, because our job will transform into creation of architecture of AI agents to ensure that our results are pretty good, and that is what we are going to talk about at the end. Okay, so this is how our videos will be. So let the fun begin. At the outset, I would like to say your likes and subscribes are my source of motivation. So please like, please subscribe to my channel, and share this to everyone. Thank you so much.